Good morning, students. Yesterday we started the lesson Nelson Mandela, which is an extract taken from the autobiography written by Nelson Mandela, that is Long Walk to Freedom. Yesterday we discussed mainly with socio-political situation in South Africa, and we also discussed about the great inauguration ceremony that took place on 10th May 1994. Let me recapitulate in a nutshell very rapidly. I told you that for a long period of 300 years, almost 3 centuries, there was a worst political system in South Africa, and that system was apartheid. Now, this system separated the people of South Africa according to their race, and as I told you, there were different rules for white people, and there were certainly great injustice done by white people with black people, and black people were victimized. They became the victims of this worst political system, apartheid, and it had such a worst impact on the international politics that the entire world had literally broken the diplomatic relationship with South Africa because of this apartheid. And who was the man who fought against apartheid? Of course, the world leader, the great legendary towering personality Nelson Mandela, who fought against apartheid, and as a result of that, when he joined ANC, African National Congress, then that African National Congress got the clear verdict in the free and fair elections, and I told you yesterday that Nelson Mandela was elected as the first black president of the newly elected democratic non-racial government of South Africa, and the oath-taking ceremony was known as the inauguration ceremony, which took place on 10th May 1994 in the Union Building, Pretoria's amphitheater, and the world leaders, presidents, prime ministers, representatives of almost 140 countries had assembled there to witness this glorious ceremony, auspicious ceremony, and their presence was the significance of, or it was the, you can say, the symbol that they were supporting Nelson Mandela's fight against apartheid, and they had restored the diplomatic relationship with South Africa. And I told you that the inauguration ceremony was quite jubilant and spectacular ceremony which took place in Union Building. Now today mainly we are going to deal with what was the impact of apartheid on the black people. Rather, I would say that I told you that apartheid was the worst political system. Even Nelson Mandela called that apartheid was an extraordinary human disaster, and as a result of that, there was bad impact of apartheid, that the entire world had broken the relationship with South Africa, and the South African people became the outlaws, as it is mentioned in the text. But so far the black people in South Africa were concerned, it was quite a nightmarish experience for the black people in South Africa, because they were treated quite in a worst manner. They received very harsh treatment, and there were the long-lasting, deep wounds in the minds of the South African people. And what was the result of that? Because of the worst treatment given by the white people as a part of apartheid, it resulted into some best leadership, and that is why today we are mainly going to deal with the statement given by Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela says that depths of oppression created the heights of character. Now, dear students, you must remember that so far the exam-oriented use of this lesson is concerned, every time there is a long answer question in CBSE board to be written in 100 to 150 words. Why did Mr. Mandela say that depths of oppression created heights of characters? Now, for writing this answer, we are going to see the value points. As I said, apartheid was the worst political system. There were different rules for white people. The black people literally became the victim of this worst political system. There was great injustice done with black people. The black people were deprived of the facilities of their fundamental rights, and even they could not live like human beings. Now, what was the result of that? Since apartheid had the decades of brutality. Dear students, you must remember this worst system remained in South Africa for 300 years. That is why there were decades after decades of brutality. And that created the deep and lasting wounds in the minds of the black people. Now, it was just like do or die situation for black people. It was the question of their survival. The white people were doing so much injustice that now the black people thought that now if we don't fight, if we don't oppose to this worst political system, then it will be question of our survival. And that is why, because of the worst treatment given by the white people to black people, because they tortured the black people, and they had done great injustice, it indirectly promoted the best qualities in the black people. Now, which were those qualities which were promoted indirectly because of this worst treatment? Those qualities were the wisdom, courage, generosity, and resilience. The black people thought that we must fight. They became courageous, they became wise, they got united, and they fought bravely under the able leadership of the great world leader Nelson Mandela. And not only that, Nelson Mandela is so generous that he says that he was not alone. He also gives the credit to thousands of black people who supported him. And as a part of the representatives, Mr. Mandela mentions these 6 names. Number 1, Mr. Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, Chief Luthuli, Yusuf Dadoo, Bram Fisher, and Robert Sobke. Mr. Mandela says that these are the few names that he just cannot skip to mention. And as Nelson Mandela said that along with him, the like-minded, capable leaders like all these 6 great personalities, all of them fought in a courageous manner, in a brave manner, in a wise way, and they were quite generous enough. They had done the great sacrifice, the great devotion. They were not worried about their families. They were not worried about their personal benefits and loss. They had only one passion, and that passion was to eradicate the worst system, apartheid. And dear students, all this was possible only because of the worst treatment they received as a part of apartheid. And because of this worst treatment, it gave birth to the best leadership like Mandela and all 6 people. And so far the Indian perspective is concerned, I can give one example to explain this, that in Indian freedom fighting struggle, as the British rule, the British people had done great injustice with Indian people. As a result of that, we could get the best leadership like Mahatma Gandhi, the honorable father of the nation, Lokmanya Tilak, and the great revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, and Sukhdev. So, just in the same way as the British had done the worst injustice with Indians, that is why the Indians were promoted and inspired to fight against the British. The same thing happened here in South Africa. Because of the worst treatment given by apartheid, the best leadership emerged with the great qualities like wisdom, generosity, and courage and resilience. And that is why Nelson Mandela says that depths of operation created the heights of characters. Now, one more important statement Mr. Nelson Mandela said, that that man's goodness is such a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. I repeat once again. Nelson Mandela said that man's goodness is such a flame that can be hidden but can never be extinguished. Now, why did Mr. Mandela said so? Because during even the grimmest time, the most challenging and tough time, when Mr. Mandela and his comrades, his friends, they were behind the bars in the prison, they could see the glimmer of humanity in one of the guards, even just for few moments, few seconds. Now I mentioned here glimmer of humanity. What does that mean? Glimmer of humanity means sign of humanity, sign of kindness. And just for few moments, when Mr. Mandela could notice that glimmer of humanity in the guards of the white people, that reassured and kept Mandela and his team to fight against apartheid. They thought that humanity is there and we can continue our fight. That is why Mandela said that man's goodness is such a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. Now tomorrow we shall continue the third phase of the lesson, and during that, tomorrow we will see how the perception of freedom kept on changing for Nelson Mandela, but that we will see tomorrow. Thank you.